this video, I'm going to take a look at finding the derivative of this function g of x. The function we're looking at is x to the 2/3 minus 2 times x to the 1/2 plus 5x to the negative 1/5. So on the surface, this is a pretty straightforward power rule derivative. But the problem that the exponents are a little messy. So I think if you're newer to taking derivatives or even a little bit experienced, there's a lot of spots in this problem that you could potentially make an error. So we're going to take the power rule of every single one. So what the power rule is if I have x squared, that's going to become 2x, and then we subtract 1 from the exponent, making that 2x to the first power rule. So here we go. I'm going to do that with all of these terms, and I'm going to take my time here. So this is going to become 2/3 times 1, because the coefficient is 1. So that's going to be 2/3 x, and then I'm subtracting 1 from here. So I'm going to do 2/3 minus 1, and I'll do it below here. And I'll just do all of these by hand rather than using a calculator just to show you the process. Because it is good to have good just fraction skills, I think. I always try to encourage people to just work it off to the side real fast. Using your calculator is fine, but I think it's good to have just some number skills here. So 2 minus 1, because we made the denominators 3, so the top became 3. 2 minus 3, did I say 2 minus 1? I meant 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So I get negative 1/3. So that's going to be negative 1/3 for my exponent. And then I have 1/2 times negative 2, because the coefficient is negative 2. So that's going to be negative 1. Careful there. Negative 2 times 1/2 is negative 1. X, and then we are subtracting 1 from the exponent, so I'm going to do it down here. So 1/2 minus 1, that's going to become over 2, making that a 2. 1 minus 2 is negative 1 over 2. So that's going to be negative 1/2. And then we have negative 1/5 times 5. That works out pretty nice because that's just 5 over 5 is 1, so we just get negative 1x. Same thing with like the 1/2 times 2. That just became 1. So that's going to become negative 1 because the 5 was positive and the negative 1/5 was negative. So negative 1. And then we are subtracting 1 from here. So let's do that off to the side. Ooh, be careful. This is negative 1/5. So negative 1/5 minus 1. So that's going to be over 5. And that's going to become 5. Negative 1 minus 5. I don't know if my camera's there. Negative 6 over 5. Negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6 over 5. So it's negative x to negative 6 over 5. Not finished. Not finished. Let me take all the side work here. Just kind of move that off to the side. These are all negative exponents. I can never leave exponents negative, so I need to rewrite. So here's where another, just if you're experienced, like then we shouldn't be making these little mistakes. But if you're new to derivatives, there is a lot of spots where people new to taking a derivative can mess this up somewhere. Like this whole process, it's very easy to subtract 1 from these fractions incorrectly. It's very easy to make that mistake. Then the next step is another step where I see people make mistakes. We need to rewrite these with positive exponents. So for 2 over 3x to the negative 1/3, what's going to come down is this x. So that's going to come down. The 2 stays on top. So the way I'm going to rewrite this is 2 over 3x to the 1/3. Because again, the x is only with the negative exponent, so that comes down. Then I'm going to do minus 1 over x to the 1/2, because the x needs to go down. Minus 1 again over x to the 6 over 5. Because the x was negative, so it needs to come down. And since we didn't have anything left on top, there's a 1. Over here, same thing. Since we didn't have anything left on top, there's a 1. You can take this a step further and rewrite x to the 1/3 as the cube root of x. I really don't think that's necessary. If you have a instructor who requires that rewriting step, so this would be the 5th root of x to the 6th. If you have that, then make sure you do that, but I wouldn't require that extra step. Like, this is plenty. This is perfectly fine, at least for me. So there is our derivative using the power rule. if you're experienced with derivatives, then this video wasn't very helpful, I don't think. I just think this is just not even anything fancy, it's just power rule. But if you're new to derivatives, I purposely put this video together because I wanted to show how something that looks easy as just using power rule, like subtracting 1 from these fractions, looks easy, we can make a mistake. Also, the rewriting step looks easy, but we can make mistakes. And the mistake here is some people might try to bring down this 2 or not really understand where everything goes. So I just wanted to put this video together. So I hope this helps with power rule.